Bonjour tout le monde. It's Aaron here with a few tips on how to conjugate verbs, specifically in English and French, and specifically with the verb to have or avoir in French. And why am I doing this? Mostly because I've got a niece and nephew in um, French immersion program, and they're just in kindergarten and second grade. And I know there's a lot of parents out there that don't know where to begin with all this homework in French. And so I'm going to point a few things out to you today. A verb is an action word in a sentence, as I hope you already know. To have is the infinitive, and have or has are the inflections or the conjugations of that verb. So they match up with the subject. Subject is the person or thing that does the action in a sentence, and here I've included a few examples with the subject underlined and the verb in italics. Subject pronouns um, stand in for subjects. So my name's Aaron. I is the pronoun that matches up with me. And so that's called the first person, the person who's speaking. There's a plural for that, we, and then second person would be you. Third person, he, she, it are the singular, and they is the plural third person. Subject-verb agreement is what it's all about with conjugation, as we'll see. And just take a look at the English here. I have, you have, but he has, she has, and it has. And then the plural, pretty easy there. So the third person singular is where you've got to watch out in English. Let's take a look at some other subjects in English. You and I is just as good as saying we. Jose and I. So if I is included in a plural subject, that's a plural first person. If a person's name has a comma after it, as we see here in the second person, Annie, Mr. Smith, you're speaking to that person, addressing that person. That's the second person. You form of the verb. And then in the third person, Carlos has, he has, she has, the boat has, my dog has, and there are plurals of that as well. Those people have, the animals have, Annie and Carlos have, third person plural. So as that applies to French, we've got the pronouns je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, elle. Okay, in the first person, je with an apostrophe goes before vowels, obviously. Je, tu, and then the third person, il, elle, he, she. On is actually a modern way of saying we, whereas nous is the traditional way to say we and is a plural form of the first person. Vous is the plural of the second person, and il, elle pronounced just like their singular varieties. The plurals here all end with an S, as you can see, nous, vous, il, elle, and we do not pronounce that S unless it's followed by a vowel. Here we have the verb avoir, to have in French. That's an infinitive form of the verb. That's the dictionary form of the verb, in other words. And the present tense, est, a, avant, avait, on. With the subject, pronounced with the subject or the pronoun here, I'll go through here. It's j'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, on a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. Okay, so we do pronounce the S here since it's followed by a vowel, but it will sound like a Z. And again, the pronoun on a, the third person singular, that actually means we have, on a, as well as the first person plural, nous avons, we have. Here I've got a little bit more information. Tu is actually the informal singular you, and vous is the formal singular you. So people that you're not on a first name basis with, you will call vous or address as vous, and any plural you, as we've talked about before. The third person, l'école, ce livre, la cloche, Jean-Luc, le chien. These are examples of subjects in French that would take third person singular verb form. And the plurals, il, elle, les enfants, mes parents, the children, my parents. These are plural subjects in French. As we saw in the English before, I'm looking at the first person plural here. Tu et moi, nous, you and I, we. Okay, so you and I is the same as we. No, but the I here is actually moi. That means me. So you and me, we. Look out for those things as you complete exercises. Here are some exercises that you can do on your own. Take a look at the first word of each sentence. Take a look at the word right before the blank, actually, in most cases. And that gives you a great clue as to which form of the verb you will need to use. So pause your computers now if you'd like to fill that out yourself, and I will be moving on immediately. I will now just read these sentences aloud for you. You can read the English translations if you'd like. These are, again, just examples of how this applies in real sentences. You don't have to know what the entire sentence means to get this right off the bat. You just match up the verb form with the pronoun that goes with it or with the subject that goes with it. Nous avons des nouveaux amis. Je n'ai pas de portable dans mon sac à dos. Les enfants ont ses livres. Everett a un frère et une sœur. Est-ce que tu as une règle dans ton bureau? Madame, vous avez 4 crayons dans votre trousse. So, thank you so much for joining me today, and good luck with all your French work. Reach out to me if you have any questions, and thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more. The like button helps too, and please share with your friends. Take care.